This is an experiential that supports you in having time on your side. We're going to play with time in our imaginations to trick our bodies into feeling like we either have more time or something happens for less time so that we can feel more complete and balanced right now. Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Embody podcast, a show about remembering and embodying your true nature, inner wisdom, embodied healing, and self-love. My name is Candace Wu, and I'm a holistic healing facilitator, intuitive coach, and artist sharing my personal journey of vulnerability, offering meditations and guided healing support, and having co-creative conversations with healers and wellness practitioners from all over the world. Welcome back to the Embody podcast. It's wonderful to have you here. I wanted to offer this brief episode to share with you this trick that I like to use with my clients, with myself, with anyone that needs a little bit of support in using time to their advantage. If you liked the experiential on traveling into the past and the future to strengthen your present day self in episode 105, then you might like this one. You can find that episode at candacewu.com/EP105. And of course, if you're just tuning in and you want to skip right to the experiential, feel free to click to the chapter of this episode where the experiential begins. And that's noted in the time markers in the show notes and in this episode. So often I've found myself fighting against time, and it's really just created more suffering in the present. So I don't have enough time. I am too busy for X, Y, and Z. When I have time, I'll rest, or I will do this or that. And when it comes to things that our body needs, our heart, soul, and body and energy, it needs rest. It needs integration. It needs to be able to move through our emotions. I have felt like I could just sleep for days or months, or I really wish I could sleep for like a year. I've also heard words come up from myself and others like, I feel like I would cry forever if I started, or that I would need to cry for days, months. Will this ever stop? So when you wish for more or less time around your experience in your emotional and spiritual being, as well as your physical being, this experiential might be for you. When our mind can focus on an idea and even picture it or sense into it, then our body doesn't really know the difference between it happening or not. On one hand, our awareness knows that it's not real, it's our imagination, but we can use our imagination as an ally, and that can support us with having time on our side. So as you jump into the experience and try it out, feel free to apply it to any sort of time aspect that you're struggling with or that you would like more benefit from, and play with how you use it. So let's begin really basically and simply by just beginning where you are, feeling a couple of breaths in and out. And we just begin to open the witnessing parts of ourselves, observing our breath going in and out. Notice whatever your mind is thinking about. Notice your emotions. Notice any body sensation that you're aware of. And just how it is to be in your body right now. Now, connect with any sense of struggle with time that you have. Some of my own examples include wishing I had more time to rest, needing to sleep for decades, fearing I would cry forever or feel angry forever, whatever uncomfortable emotion that you might be experiencing that feels like it would just stay for a long time. So, whatever the words are or the sense is, notice that as we begin. Notice what happens in your body as you feel the words that you don't have time or you wish you could sleep for months, that you need an hour to rest and you only have 5 minutes. However, this comes to you now. Now, this is where we play with time. Whatever it is that you wish could happen with time, imagine that happening. Whether that's visualizing it, if you can picture this experience, or thinking about it, putting your attention on it, and sensing into time going by for as long as you need, let's begin doing that. So, for example, if you wished for more time to rest, imagine yourself resting right now just the way you would need to rest, or sleeping just the way you would need to sleep. Or instead, you might imagine an activity that you really want or need to do for a length of time. For example, I love being with horses and I just feel like I cannot get enough time and enough experience with them. And that's something you can imagine here. An activity that you just really love or need more time with, and to notice how that feels in this experience. Or if it's that you're crying or sad or angry or some emotion that feels like it could last to infinity or for days, imagine that kind of emotion expressing itself and how it would be if it just expressed itself in the right way for you. So whether it is you're resting or sleeping or bawling or raging with anger, however those feelings and emotions want to express, imagine that happening for this whole day or however long it needs to. And then another day, if it needs that, feel free to imagine the days turning into weeks or months. The timing all depends on just how long your body and your soul senses it needs in terms of whatever you need to experience. Imagine the fullest expression or the deepest sleep or rest in the perfect way for you. And if it's only a short amount of time, like an hour, a day, feel free to just slow that down so that your body can really integrate it in this couple of minutes that we're working with this. And if it's longer, if it goes into years, decades, centuries, even infinity, let that happen at the pace that feels right for you mentally as you picture or sense or touch into that experience that needs to happen for that long. And as you sense it's beginning to move towards completion, or that you're ready to transition from inside of your mind's eye with whatever you're experiencing. Sense the quality of your rest or sleep or your activity coming to a close. And the feeling that you have as you know that it's enough. And then feel all the way through the experience of it ending, whether that's an activity or an emotion, or whether that's your sleep and you're waking up. And notice what it would give you if you had that whole amount of time to experience this. What does it feel like on that end of things? And as you feel this in your body right now, noticing what happens in your body in this present moment. Notice if there's any difference and any changes inside. If you need a few more minutes or a little more real time in order to let time pass in an accelerated way, feel free to continue on here or pause this recording so that you can take your own time. But whenever you're ready to transition, feel free to alongside with me. And as you're ready, begin to slowly move your body or stretch or give the body some sort of contact to support you in transitioning to opening your eyes and sensing that you're here in present time, right in this moment. And as you look around your space and begin to orient yourself to present time, sense what's happening inside. So as we close today, acknowledge that this just took a couple of minutes. Well, to be exact, in our experience, because of me explaining it, it took about 8 minutes. But if you even have 2 minutes of your own time, or 5, even better, just setting a couple of minutes on your phone as a timer or something, just to give a frame of time, then you can use that 2 minutes to play with this at your own pace. Whenever you feel like, oh, it would just feel so much better if I had an hour more of rest. Well, imagine that deep rest. Sometimes we can even feel more replenished after doing this than had we actually slept. So feel free to play with this how it works for you, if it works for you, and thank yourself for practicing today. Thanks so much for joining me today. And if you're interested in another experiential, playing with time and allying with time, you can tune into episode 105 at candicewood.com/EP105, which is traveling on a prism and journeying through time to connect with past moments and future selves for resource and strength and supplying you with more strength in the present. It's been great having you here. See you next time on the Embody podcast.